Chris Cuomo, popular primetime news anchor for CNN, has been indefinitely suspended due to his connection and alleged support. Is alleged even a word? I don't care if it is, but I'm using it, for being alleged to have supported his brother Andrew Cuomo, who was previously the governor of New York, who got in trouble for some sexual misconduct cases with at least 11 women, which he acknowledged he's been suspected to have offended in that way. Now, I want to talk about this, guys, because this is something we will talk about. This is Queendom TV stuff here going on. Now, I spent a lot of time doing a whole bunch of videos on the media, and please check them out. CNN is also a company that I spoke about, so please check those videos out. And the reason why I did that, guys, is just for situations like this, because this is absolutely crazy. Now, the reason why this is crazy is because, once again, an extremely popular person on an extremely popular and powerful platform has been found out to be involved in sexual misconduct cases, guys. And this is scary to me because when you think about the justice system, right, and the people that go to prison, they talk a lot about drugs, they talk a lot about the burglary and things like that, which all of those things are still negative, by the way. I'm not trying to say they're not, but why are we not getting the same level of justice for all of these sexual misconduct, sexual allegations, sexual abuse, all these different things? I talked previously in one of my videos, please check out my latest video about Ghislaine Maxwell, where I talk a lot about why these people are even able to get away with this stuff. And even in this case, basically, just to clarify, Chris Cuomo allegedly helped his brother Andrew Cuomo, who I said was obviously the previous governor of New York, with his case for the sexual misconduct thing. And now CNN is basically saying they've had to suspend him based on information that's come forward. And they're saying the reason why they didn't suspend him previously is because previously he what was I going to say? Because previously they hadn't had the information that they now have, because the information wasn't available until it was available to the public. Which, first things first, I don't believe that's the case at all. Of course they're going to say that, and maybe the people in power there, they'll use their power. Probably the people in power would have known, but they'll let the the lower level editors and people like that find it out after the fact and be like, oh my gosh, we didn't know this. I guess you're gonna have to make a statement now and say that now, because we've found it out. Now it's the first time we've heard about this. Now we're gonna have to suspend him indefinitely. I definitely think these are the types of things that go on. Because even with these people who hide stuff, they can't get away with it forever. So eventually they're going to have to admit what's gone on. So I kind of think that's what's happened here. Now, the sad thing about this, and even scarier part of it to me, is the fact that the reason why they've had to suspend him is because I guess they knew he was supporting his brother. And I think a spokesperson for CNN had said something like, oh, well, we understood that, supporting your family comes before supporting your job, or some nonsense like that. And yes, maybe, unless your family member is doing sexual misconduct. When you say stuff like that, you're talking about it as if he was off helping, like nursing his brother who was chronically ill or something. No, it was helping his brother not get in trouble for things that he had done, or at least he was in the process of being found out to see if he'd done them. And that's just ridiculous. And the way he was helping was with his job, because apparently Chris was using the sources and resources that he got through his job. So like the people that he knew, the information we would have had from being a journalist, etc., news anchor, to support his brother. Now that is just crazy. It's crazy for many different reasons. Number one, so many people loved Chris Cuomo, and this is why I keep saying, guys, that in the Bible it says the enemy comes disguised as an angel of light. So many people who you think are good, who you love, right? We talk about this on this channel all the time. They're the very people who disguise themselves and mask themselves so well as good people, and in reality they're horrendous people. I mean, even when I was looking this up, right, I went to look on Instagram to see what like the hashtag Chris Cuomo stuff would come up, and one of the hashtags I saw was hashtag Chris Cuomo for president. Like, can you imagine this guy had become president and this is what he's doing? Can you imagine how many more people he would have been aiding? And his brother would probably been like, oh, anybody else, any other politicians want to do dodgy stuff? Guess what, my brother's in at CNN, I'll help you. He's in on prime time, I'll get him in to help you. It's crazy that this is what people are doing, but this is what people are doing. And it gets even crazier because Chris's wife, and now this is where I have to apologize, where in the past I've really spoken a lot about a lot of things that go on in the industry, and I've really blamed the men more so, because to be honest, unfortunately, there is a lot more men who are being found out. But I think the part that women are playing, that to me is almost equally as bad, well, is equally as bad actually, I would have to say, is supporting these kinds of things, or also obviously being involved in them for the ones who are, but supporting these kind of things. So for example, Ghislaine Maxwell, I don't know if she was actually doing the things, although there was a few allegations that she was involved in certain things that went on, but she at least was definitely one of the big helps in terms of I don't know what you want to call it, finding victims, I guess. But Chris's wife, I saw, was having in an interview, was talking about how, oh, Andrew basically grew up Chris, and they're so close and they finish each other's sentences and da 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 da. And so again, like trying to kind of, I guess she's supporting her husband, which I understand, but in reality, behind closed doors, if I were her, first things first, I wonder, is she just that blind? Like, was it that hard genuinely for her to have seen that this is what's going on, is the first question I want to ask. Like, was she genuinely this blind? Was it that unobvious? Because I really feel us as women, I believe God gives us an intuition about stuff as women, especially because we're we're going to be mothers and things, so that we can feel out people's vibes. And so a lot of these women who try and play the oh, I'm not buying it. I feel like when you're a woman, especially in your family, think about it, guys. If you've been in a family situation, or even somebody else's family, or even just life, if you're around people and there's like a dodgy person you can tell does this stuff, and a lot of these people who do these sexual misconduct things, then they don't hide it. Like a lot of these news people who have been gotten in trouble, or who are continually getting away with it, the staff members will even tell you. Apparently, I think if I'm not mistaken, I think even Chris's work colleagues, I don't want to misquote it in case I'm wrong, but if I'm not mistaken, his work colleagues even felt there was something dodgy about him in that area. And a lot of other people who've gotten in trouble, not just men, but a lot of men who have gotten in trouble, they've been known to not just do those behaviors behind closed doors, but also in broad daylight in front of other people. And so for Chris's wife to come on, obviously, like I said, she's supporting her husband, but maybe don't support him. Maybe say, I refuse to comment. I would respect that more. In fact, I respect that more a lot of the time with women, when if they're not going to comment, because saying something and trying to help this is not helping the problem at all, and it's not helping women, unfortunately. And it's a shame that even on somewhere like CNN, again, that is supposed to be an unbiased news source and helpful for the public, right? Or even considered family TV, I guess. Well, maybe not family TV, because I don't think children need to be watching the news, to be honest with you. That these are the kind of people that are there, and he's supporting his brother, who was a governor and a primetime news anchor, and this is what they're getting up to, guys. And this is why it's important for us. This is why I talk about this stuff on my channel. So if you do enjoy this, please subscribe and hit the like button, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And obviously check out my videos on the media, because I did talk about CNN. But this is why it's important to talk about this stuff, guys, because people are getting away with things in broad daylight, right? And just because people aren't speaking up, this is why they're getting away with it. This is why, even if it's just that 5 people watch this video, right, it's worth me saying something, because at least that's 5 more people who can wake up. And if they go and tell 5 people, and so on and so forth, and I don't want to sound like one of those cringy people that's like, and then we can all share everything, and then it's all going to change the world. Now, to some extent, that is what I'm suggesting, because the more we talk about things, the more it does make a difference, right? But people have to actually talk about things and just put 2 and 2 together. And I feel like a lot of what I do on this channel is just saying things, saying exactly what a lot of people are seeing and thinking, but just saying it so that it's actually said, because sometimes when something is actually said, it feels more real than when it's just in your head, if you know what I mean. And I definitely feel like that, even for me, having this channel, a lot of the stuff that I've said, as soon as you guys have been in the comments and been like, oh my goodness, this is what I was thinking as well, I thought the same thing. Like, for example, when I was saying about how I believe Jeffrey Epstein is definitely not dead, having you guys be like, yes, I agree. One of you guys even sent me a group on Facebook that's all about Jeffrey Epstein is still alive. It helps me to realize that this stuff is real, you know, that we talk about, and that it's something that needs to be spoken about, because there are genuine victims. And this is why I'm out here speaking up about this stuff, guys, because I care about these victims who are not getting the justice they deserve, who are dealing with trauma, who are dealing with all of these, having to put up with these things, these poor women probably showing up at work, maybe having all these horrible comments being said about them, even the women around Governor Andrew, you know, Cuomo, and just for even for us, you know, as women, one of the problems I feel like that we do face, you know, more specifically in terms of our gender, is that when we are in these places of like being in news anchor, being in politics, being in these jobs, it's hard for women to want to speak out, because they don't want to, because we're already always just written off as the emotional ones. People don't want to stand up and say anything, because they're like, oh, if I say something, they're going to be like, oh, we've upset with, this is why we don't hire women. You know, people say, and it sounds crazy, but people do say these kinds of things, you know, or women are so emotional because, and it's and first of all, being emotional is not a bad thing. And I just want to let the men out there know that anger is also an emotion, just to throw that one out there, just as a side note. But you know, even still, right, I think a lot of women are in genuine situations where they're being mistreated and they cannot speak up, and they are being overlooked, because as soon as they say something, it's like, oh, why is it when we had so and so before you, who was a guy, we never had these problems, now you want to be making complaints, now you want to be getting people fired. And unfortunately, the truth is, guys, in the industries, in a lot of the industries, people don't want to be removing like their staff and whatever. If Chris Cuomo is loved by the public, they don't really want to remove him, because then they're gonna have to bank on a new guy and hope that he has the same vibe. And people are searching and putting on Instagram hashtag Chris Cuomo for president. They would rather keep him, and therefore a lot of the time speaking up does not work for the what do you call them, for the victims, unfortunately. And that's a very sad story. So yeah, this is why I'm speaking up about it. I'm totally disgusted by this, and but I'm glad that he's been suspended, and I'm glad, as I've been saying, I really believe God wants to bring more and more justice, and his version of justice, because the justice that's out there is very, very fake, and I talk about that a lot on this channel. So yeah, you guys let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Also, let me know if you're glad that my videos have become a bit longer again, because I just wanted to make sure you guys were, I don't know, I just want to make sure you guys have content that you like and you enjoy. Because I do really enjoy making content for my channel. I love this channel. I love every single one of you who has subscribed and who likes my videos and everything. I appreciate it so, so, so much. Don't forget to check out my other videos and all my various playlists. Other than that, God bless you all, and I'll see you in my next one.